hello to you all. It's about 10 o'clock on Monday morning. My first job has been put off. I went there this morning and I've still got carpenters and a builder doing some work in there, and it was just too much for me to get in there. So I said, not to worry, I've got plenty to do. We did a little karate presentation thing on Saturday night, and we noticed the amp was playing up a bit, so getting geeky now. But anyway, I've just been mucking about with the back of the amp. I think a couple of the contacts were a little bit maybe sticking a bit. It's a bit old now, this amp, so I've just been testing it all, running it out, and a little bit of playing with it all. Yeah, man, I'm 18 again. I wished, but yeah, all seems to be working again. Was getting no stereo out of the amp. If you're into all this stuff, there's a button for stereo, mono and parallel, and the stereo wasn't working, kept cutting out. Anyway, enough geekiness. It seems to be right now, so let's turn this all off before I get a copyright strike. Now, if you're anything like me, you watch a lot of videos on YouTube, and you watch a lot of products being demonstrated, and sometimes I feel like I spend too much money on stuff because I'm being told it's the best, when obviously there's other things out there which are adequate and a lot cheaper. So I've been out this morning, I've been to screwfix, and I picked myself up a new paint sprayer, and I'm going to try a new primer undercoat. And I've gone for the cheaper brands this time, because I've had the more expensive brands in the past, and I've seen some really good reviews on these two products. So I'll just turn you around and I'll show you what they are. So the first one is this Fortress, which I think is Screwfix's sort of own make really. It's the Fortress primer and undercoat, and I think that 2.5 litre, I think I paid about 15 quid for that. Now if you start going to the other makes like your Zinzas or your you know, your Crowns and your Duluxes, you're going to be easy doubling that, and it must be all right. Surely it wouldn't get sold. The reviews look good online. A lot of people have used it. A lot of people said it's good. So, and I know the tin looks boring. It's a bit like the old Tesco value line. I don't know if you remember that, but years ago in Tesco's, with the cheaper brands, they just used to be this really boring blue and white Victor value line or something. But it didn't mean it was any different. I think it's the same with this tin. It doesn't look like an exciting tin. It hasn't got all the fancy stuff on it. But all I want to do is prime, undercoat and wood with it. And sometimes I think we're being sold a lot of stuff that we don't really need. So this is going to be my next thing to try. And then the other thing I bought was, I treated myself to a new sprayer. Now, I've had sprayers in the past. I've had the Wagner sprayers. I've got a Graco sprayer. But basically, the only time I really need a sprayer that can, with a bigger pump on it, is when I'm doing ceilings really. I don't often spray walls. Sometimes I'll just roll walls, but I do like to spray a ceiling. And I've got the Graco, I've got the Ultra Quick Shot for 1,200 quid, which is a ridiculous amount of money for what it is, but it is a good little thing. But Screwfix were doing this on a little deal. They're usually 209 quid, but this was down to 167 quid. Now the equivalent of a Wagner one, I think you're talking about 350 quid. And then if you want the bigger Wagner one on the cart with the wheels, that's about 550 quid. And if you want the Graco version of this sort of thing, you are looking at about 800 or 900 quid. And although it's lovely to have all the all singing, dancing stuff, I just want to earn my money by getting paint on the walls or ceilings as quick and as easy as possible. So for 167 quid, I've took a punt on this. It can't be that bad. I've seen other decorators online using them, and to be honest, they look fantastic. They actually look almost as good as the Graco. I'm sure the pump and the way it all works inside, the technology isn't as good, but as long as it chucks paint out at a decent rate and lays on nice, that's all I care about. So that was that really. I'm not going to test it in a minute. I might unbox it later, but I just thought I'd just do a little video just showing, just trying to cut back on spending on things that sometimes I feel I'm being a little bit suckered into. I'm back in the old man shed now, and let's have a look at this thing. I'm a bit of a spray addict really. I've got 1, 2, 3, I've got 4 sprayers at the minute. But none that can really do a ceiling. two handhelds, and I've got another cheapy crappy thing for like fence panels and things, but this is just for sealing, so we'll have a look and see what we get. Usual, loads of packaging. Put that down there. So this looks like the main thing here. Right, got a little box of something there. I'm more interested in the hose and the gun, to be honest, rather than the thing. But really, alright, there's a little. That's that. Looks like a little, like a transformer. Really, it's about. Well, it's lighter than a transformer, but it's got a good bit of weight to it. It feels like it's got something to it. I mean, the pump must be fairly heavy, I suppose. You've got obviously a prime and spray switch. Looks like there. And then you've got a pressure control knob, which, well, is good. An on-off switch as well. Yeah, not bad. So what else do we get in it? We get two legs, which form the base there. And we get, that looks like a handle. Is it like a carry handle? What's the box on it? Oh no, it's the base of the frame. So it's the base, right, okay. The base of the frame, and then you get the inlet and outlet hose there, which has actually got a really nice mesh filter in it. It's better than the Wagner filters. They give you like a plastic thing, but this looks a little bit more of a better, looks more Graco than Wagner, that bit. So that looks good. And that, well, I've got some, loads of nuts and bolts in there. And I think that's it. So now what I was more interested in was the gun and the tip holder, because obviously this is an whatever you call it, excuse me, Erbauer make. I've got tip holders from Graco and Wagner, so I did read up and it said they were compatible, so that's what I was more interested in, this gun. Feels alright, typical sort of 4-finger gun, you know, it's not like the little Graco 2-finger, but yeah, it's well on par with the Wagner stuff, that's for sure. So they give you with it a tip holder, and they give you a 517 tip, which is perfect for sealings. So what I wanted to do was, I wanted to see if my Graco tip, so I wanted to see if my Graco tip goes on here. This is the RAX, the Rax thing. It fits on, that fits on nice. And hopefully the tips will go in that as well. So the Graco RAX tip with the Graco FFLP tips, as I would usually use in my crick shot, they do fit in with this Erbauer gun. They fit nicely on the end, because sometimes I know that there's been a bit of a discrepancy between Wagner and Graco. Some things don't fit, but this fits the Graco stuff, so I'm not going to try out Wagner stuff because I don't really use it anymore. So that's great, that's really good actually. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So I can take this off and let's put their own one back on. It feels alright, I'm sure it's alright. Right. What's that there? Lock. Oh. You've got a trigger lock, but all that is just this little knob that comes round and stops it from being pressed back. So it's just like a little spinny thing. So, but the gun feels all right. Let's put it together. I'll come back to you. So there's the base on it. Really simple. Just few little bolts, nothing much to worry about. And now just this hose attachment, which I'll just pull off, I presume, and then on you go with these little things here, really. So I presume that just goes on there. As simple as that, with that just holding that on. That's it. Another little clip there. Right. That ain't going nowhere. So. One for the gun. Okay, so let's give it a little test in a bucket of water. So let's dunk that in there. Plug it in. The prime hose, which is there. Set it to spray. Max is there. Minimum down there. Let's just try a minimum because it's only water. Let's just have a little go there. Turn it on again. Let's prime it first. Hold on. Let's give it another prime. Now, is it one of these ones that runs continuously? I don't know. That's better. So it should shut off once it's primed up. So let's try and give it a spray. Wow. Got a bit of kick in that one. Right, I'm going to do it in the sink actually. I'm lucky enough to have this outside bit with an old sink in it, which I never built. It was already here when we bought the house. It's perfect. When they're new, these things, these hoses are so stiff, you can get a little whip hose for the end, which is a lot more flexible. So, might be a case of that, but let's have a look. Let's turn it up to max. Tell you what, that's a lot quieter than the Wagner ones. It's got a very quiet little pump going on in there, so for 168 quid, that's pretty good. Hopefully I'm impressed with that. So I should be spraying the ceiling a bit later this week with that. That's why I bought it actually. I've got a ceiling to do. So all in all, seems like a little bargain. Not bad, quite light. It's not going to take up a lot of room. The only thing that take up the room is the hose, but you need to get that wrapped to your way really, then it will stay. I mean, when it's come out there, it's like a tight spring, but I'll try and give it a bit more of a wrap, or maybe even wrap it around the body or something like that. So yes, join me sometime this week. Could possibly be Wednesday, and I will spray the ceiling with it anyway. See you soon for some more. So that's it, all packed up. Just train the hose to go round it like that, and that should start sort of taking that shape. It's a lot easier to pack up then, because the hoses can be a bit of a pain to sort of get in. So yeah, it all looks quite compact. Nice little thing really. Not bad at all.